We are standing in a time machine. For the last 60 years, this has been one of North Carolina's biggest economic engines, and the Research Triangle Park you know is about to be gone. Today we're diving into RTP 3.0, so stay tuned.
So the history of the Research Triangle Park is fascinating, and before we get into where the Research Triangle Park is headed, we're going to talk a little bit about why it was created to begin with. So in the 1950s, North Carolina was one of the poorest states in the country, actually 47th out of the 48 states. And so essentially what was happening, we had all these great talents coming from places like Duke University or UNC or NC State, but they were leaving North Carolina because North Carolina was primarily textile and a tobacco state. And so the governor of North Carolina at the time, as well as university systems, came together to form what we now call the Research Triangle Park to keep talent local and to just expand the economy beyond what it currently was. And it was incredibly successful.
Yeah, incredibly successful. So they created the Research Triangle Foundation, and just a few years after that, IBM was one of the first really big companies to come and invest in the area. And after that, things just really trickled out and became more of what it is today, which has been a huge research campus. So many big companies here. You've got places like Biogen and IBM, Cisco, like big name companies, a lot of...
Maybe Apple in the future, who knows?
Hopefully they'll finally come like they said they would. But yeah, lots of big companies that are here today. But if you've lived in the area and you don't work in the area, the Research Triangle Park is probably somewhere you've probably never spent maybe any time in, because it's really kind of just hidden by trees. There's really not a lot here, but all of that is about to change.
The Research Triangle Park became one of the largest research districts in the world, with over 55,000 employees that work within the Research Triangle Park, as well as 7,000 acres of space, which is just mind-blowing. If you don't really know how to comprehend 7,000 acres, because I really didn't, I tried to find some visualizations of it. So 7,000 acres is like 5,300 football fields, which is also hard to comprehend. It's half of Manhattan, which is a huge amount of area. Or if you live in the Raleigh-Durham area, it's 10 downtown Raleighs. So that's basically the size of the Research Triangle Park. So it takes up a massive amount of space.
So what is RTP 3.0? So essentially, this is a huge 50-year master planned project that has been created by the Research Triangle Foundation of what the Research Triangle Park could be like over the next 50 years. So obviously that is a very long time frame. It's not like all of this is gonna be done immediately, but a lot of stuff is already being actively changed now, like the creation of what this could be. Essentially, think of it as like a 15-minute city, like one of those places where you can live, have everything just at your access within 15 minutes is going to be housed inside of the Research Triangle Park. So thinking a lot more residential spaces, a lot more retail, entertainment, things to do. And the start of that has already kind of coming into play with the hub. This is kind of the first step, and we are here at the hub right now. So we've got the new apartments behind us. These are the first places that you've ever been able to live in RTP. And so we're gonna see a lot more residential coming with that as well. And in this little section too, there's coffee shops and restaurants coming into play. So we're seeing a lot that has come in 2025. So we're gonna see a lot more coming, obviously, over 50 years. But I think even just with the creation of the hub and that getting finalized over the next few years.
Yeah, for sure. And so a lot of big changes took place this year as well in 2025 to move this project forward, not the project, not the hub specifically, but this 50-year master plan. And those changes specifically were the changing of the covenants for the Research Triangle Park. So before those covenants were changed, really nothing could be built inside the Research Triangle Park that was not like a lab or something related to like business development, essentially, but those covenants were changed. And then what had to happen is Wake County and Durham County had to change their zoning laws to allow new development to come into the Research Triangle Park beyond those things like labs and medical space or business development space. And so those changes took place as well. So 2025 was a big pivot year for the future of the Research Triangle Park. So now that the covenants have been changed and the counties have changed the zoning laws, how does the Research Triangle Park basically become this area where folks can live, play, and work, like it's the vision for the future of the Research Triangle Park? And that really comes down to incentivizing the private companies who really own almost all the 7,000 acres here to use some of their land to redevelop for those purposes. And that's really already started. So IBM sold off 147 acres to the developer who developed the Fenton in Cary, who will do something very similar with that land. And you can really think of the redevelopment of the Research Triangle Park as probably like multiple mini hubs kind of all throughout it that are going to be very similar to like the place that we're at today. But it also comes down to redeveloping some of the unused space here, like the parking. So out of that 7,000 acres, 1,400 of those acres is specific to parking, which is just crazy. And to put that into context, if you're a Disney fan, that is 13 Magic Kingdoms. I mean, that is a lot of space that's developed to parking. Obviously, some of that's needed. 55,000 people work here, but not all of that is needed. And so some of that space can be used to be redeveloped. Some of these companies can sell it off, make money off of it, and then it can be redeveloped for better purposes.
So it's not just going to be construction of apartments and retail spaces, but also they have reached out to the federal government, hopefully for funding for something called the Triangle Mobility Hub, which would be a space right in the heart of RTP, where it's going to be like a big space for not only just buses and other forms of transportation, but also hopefully a future connection for a light rail system that could maybe at least go around the RTP area, but hopefully other sections of Raleigh and Durham in the future, but also spaces for a bike rail and future greenway trail accesses too. So this is really going to be a very big and all-encompassing project that has so many different legs to get excited about.
Absolutely. So all in all, over the next 50 years, the Research Triangle Park is going to look totally different than it does today. And this matters for a couple reasons. One, the Research Triangle Park is obviously a huge economic engine for our region. So making sure that it stays, I don't want to say up to date, but stays competitive with other, research type districts in the world is going to be really important to attract the best talent and the best companies into the area. The second reason of importance is housing. So our area is housing starved. And when you look at the Research Triangle Park, it is a great location with good access to Durham, good access to Raleigh, good access to the airport. And to be able to put housing within this region is going to be really important. And so it's going to allow people, and not just for, the folks who work within RTP, but just the average person, whether they work in RTP or not, to have access to, a very centralized location for housing is going to be a really big deal. Speaking of housing, we are real estate agents. So if you are looking to buy or sell, we'd love to be a real estate resource of choice, and you can find our contact info below.
Yep, and you can also reach out on Instagram. You can follow us over at the Honeycutt Realtors, and we'd love to connect with you there, or see you around town. Come and say hey, we'd love to connect.
Yep, we'll see you next time.